Hi, everyone. Welcome to Spill the Tea Radio, where we interview awesome singer-songwriters and those who influence their lives. Spill the Tea Radio explores the journey, creativity, and inspiration behind the songs. My next guest is originally from the west coast of Canada and now makes her home in our nation's capital. She is a classically trained pianist and self-taught vocalist. She first captivated the music scene during the COVID quarantines by performing uplifting rooftop concerts. Along with her music and an impressive 4-octave vocal range, she has embarked on a special project celebrating an iconic Canadian hero. So, let's spill the tea with Lovarra. Welcome, Lovarra.
Hey, nice to talk to you today. I'm very excited to be here with you.
Well, thanks for coming on the show. People are going to probably surmise that Lovarra is not your given name at birth. So, first of all, help us understand how you came or how you landed on that name and you created that name for yourself.
When I first started releasing music, my birth name is Corinne, Corinne Friesen, and when I started putting my music up onto streaming services, there were other Corinnes, and Corinne Bailey Ray pretty much had the search engine sewed up. So I had to find something else so that people who wanted to hear my music could find it. Brainstorm session with some friends, and someone just came up with this Middle European name, Lovarra, and I like the sound of it. It sounds friendly, it sounds heartfelt. It's one word, it's a short word that people can remember. And when you type it in, even if you type it into a Google search wrong, you pretty much always get me. So there I am. Yeah, so that's part of the musical journey, is starting to define who you are and what you're about.
Lovarra, you are a veteran radio announcer yourself. You had a show on CBC Radio.
I did.
Tell us about that show. What was it about, and how long did you do it?
CBC Moncton. I don't want to say how far long. This was in the mid
Not
1990s.
how far back. How long did it last?
Mid 1990s. CBC Moncton, I did the afternoon show in New Brunswick. So we got to interview people about what it was to be a member of the community. What's your life like? What are you doing? What are people up to? And it helped the community define itself. And that's something I really love to do. I like how music builds community. I liked how the show I did at the time built community. It was only for like 2.5 years before CBC did a massive cut across the country, but got maybe 1,000 interviews in. You've got me beat. I think you've done a lot more than that. But there's nothing like it, and I really liked reaching out and hearing what people had to say about their lives. I will try very hard not to do that interviewer thing on you, where interviewers being interviewed start interviewing the interviewer. Uh,
I just did an interview with a fellow who's a musician and is also on one of the stations that my show airs on. And I was waiting for him to kick into interviewer mode because I do it myself. If I'm invited on a show, you just can't help it. You end up getting into that mode where you take over the interview, especially if it's a young, not a younger, but an inexperienced interviewer, and you want to help them along. It's the kind of like, oh, you probably want to know about such and such, or you probably are going to ask me about such and such.
and then I get interested in you, and then I want to find out about you. And since we're talking about it, let's see what David's story is in this area. So yeah.
Exactly. But don't worry, Lovarra, I'm an experienced interviewer. I will make sure we stay on track. You wrote a book, you wrote a book and you interviewed the iconic Canadian that I mentioned in the intro, Rick Hansen, who is known for his Man in Motion tour. Tell us about that experience. Tell us about the book and the experience of interviewing Rick Hansen.
I think I'd like to start talking about this Man in Motion tour 40 years ago, 40 years ago now, because I was in college and I vaguely heard this story about some guy who was going to wheel his wheelchair around the world. And I remember thinking, wow, you're like, good on you. You go for it, man. And didn't really think much about it. Every now and then you heard little updates on the news. And when he hit the wall of China, then the whole world was watching. And I saw these news clips and I thought, wow, this guy is doing the wall of China in a wheelchair.
Mhm.
That hooked me in, and I followed the rest of his world tour. And by the time he got back to North America, I'm like, me and the whole world was watching, and he'd raised like $26 million for spinal cord research and for wheelchair issues. And in the meantime, being a college student, I heard this amazing song, and it was called Man in Motion. And it was very danceable and really catchy. And I thought, wow, what a great song. Love to dance to it. Bought the bought the 45 for my yeah, 45s. You spin them around, you wear them out. And I part of me said, you know what? This would be so great if that was a theme song for this guy who's touring the world.
Mhm.
Not a clue that it actually was. It was inspired by this man. So um, then Rick Hansen started, he hit the shores of North America on his way home. And most of us are thinking, yay, he's almost home. But if you've ever driven across Canada, it's still a really long way to go.
Mhm.
And I don't even like doing it in a car. And this guy's pushing his wheelchair. And so he made it across the Canadian Shield. He made it through the terrible weather and he made it over the Rockies. And he had left Vancouver with a few people telling his story, but he made it home with tens of thousands of people cheering him into Vancouver City Central. And it was so inspiring. And that stayed with me. That inspiration stayed with me, that forward-looking hope for the future and what we can do. And that really defined the times for me, and it stuck with me.
Well, anyone who was around at that time, will remember that song, the Man in Motion song by John Parr, and was made famous in the movie Saint Elmo's Fire.
Mhm.
It was an amazing time, and of course, Rick Hansen and before him Terry Fox, who were doing this across Canada, and we think as able-bodied Canadians, we can't even imagine walking, or in your case, as you said, can't imagine driving across the country, let alone walking across the country or uh, do a wheelchair around the world.
I don't even like to walk down to the grocery store. So I
Well,
know.
hence their amazing fortitude that they put forward. Now, the song we're going to feature today, "Victorious," is a song inspired by Rick Hansen.
Yeah,
Uh, and you're also putting a video together
yeah.
that you want to have this song play along with, and you're inviting Canadians to participate as well in the making of this video. So tell us about that. Tell us what are you looking for from Canadians, and how are they going to get the information to you?
Uh, well, I mentioned earlier that um, I love how music builds a sense of community. I love how it unites us and expresses us. And when um, I re I released the song "Victorious" in 2023, and I was lucky enough to be honored with the Vancouver's not quite what it was called. It's called the Fraser Valley Music Award, and that's the larger Vancouver area. So that was a big part in making me their singer-songwriter of the year. And even as I was releasing the song, I had my eye on his 40th anniversary of his tour. And now it's arrived. I mean, 40 years ago, this month, he set off on that world tour. And I want to continue to honor him, and his wife Amanda, who I feel doesn't get enough credit for her part in it either, because she was there every step of the way. She was on a bicycle behind him half of the way. Um, and so to do that, I want to build on the song and turn it into a music video. Some of the video will be me and my band, but mostly I want it to be about Canadians doing them. I want to hear you do you. I'm saying this to the people who are listening. I want to see moments that make you feel like, yeah, this is me, or moments that make you go, I never thought I could do this. Yeah, like if it's something simple, like maybe you're in a wheelchair and you finally managed to get through your daily life, negotiating all the problems you have with it, or maybe that you just conquered some sort of hurdle for yourself. I don't know, do karaoke or doing stand up, or even just getting through your day. Hold a baby, get your friends together and do the wave, dance in the kitchen to the song. I mean, flip the skateboard, whatever it says that you doing you. I want to see that. And my plan is to take all these clips together and mix them in to the video to make the music video. There was a little bit of this kind of collaborative work happening during the COVID pandemic. And those moments they really reached me, and I think they reached a lot of people. And so this time I'm hoping to help us remember who we are and who we are together as Canadians. You asked me, how can people contribute? I have the information up on my personal website, so lovarra.ca, Lovarra, and there's a special tab, music video, tells you all about it, how to set up, like you need it to be horizontal, as good as video possible, and how to send your clips. So I can't wait. I cannot wait to see what people contribute. Already we've got some cool ones. There's a music band in Ottawa that is Haitian music, and they were recently doing something that they wanted to do for a long time. They made a music video, and during the music video, they got together in between takes and they just went victorious, and they gave me those clips. So that kind of thing. I can't wait.
Just looking at some of the information around this, it was a 26 months on the road, 34 countries, 40,000 kilometers, which Rick did to bring awareness, as you said, for spinal cord research. Well, we get into one of the songs that you wrote. This song was released in August of 2022. It was engineered by Lovarra and Bruno Castillo, with album artwork by Rudy McGee. It is dedicated to one of Canada's iconic heroes, Rick Hansen. So let's take a listen to singer-songwriter Lovarra and her song, Victorious.
Nothing's ever hard as it seems. You can be whatever you dream. In your soul there is a fighter. Gotta keep it under control. Be ready, cause you never know when the winds will lift you higher. Now you can climb the wall. You can rise above it all and never fall. Now we can stand and say that we're gonna seize the day and go all the way. Victory, victory, victorious. We can take whatever comes. even in the eye of the storm, when your faith is shattered and torn, and the nights are getting longer. Better jump or you'll never fly. Take a chance and do it or die. Now you're only getting stronger. Now we can climb the wall. We can rise above it all and never fall. Now we can stand and say that we're gonna seize the day.
That was Victorious by Lovarra. Lovarra, tell us, what is that song about and what was the inspiration to write it?
First, I want to clarify this is a collaborative thing. When I started working on this song, I still am connected to a lot of collaborative sites where artists get together and build music together. And this one is from a gentleman named Michael J. He's actually also done some stuff for Celine Dion. And from the first note, I knew this song could be something really special, you know, and he really had a way of pulling someone in inspirationally. And as soon as I started thinking of the song, kind of absorbing the song, I just instantly thought of Rick and Amanda Hansen. And they have this forward-looking energy that is really contagious. Like, they don't spend a lot of time complaining. They see hurdles as something that are simply problems to be solved. And they're usually thinking about what's next. What can they do next? What can they contribute next? And that energy is really contagious. And I wanted to just somehow capture just a piece of that and see if I could spread it a little bit, like their ripple. They start the ripple and I can be part of spreading that ripple.
How do people find out more about you and your music? What's the website? What are the streaming platforms?
Oh, lovarra.ca. That's my official website, and I'm most active on the Facebook social media. So Corinne Lovarra. If you just Google Lovarra, you'll see my face, and you'll kind of notice it's about music. So I would love to see people there. I love dialogues with people, and I love that chance to share stuff. So
we have been in conversation with Corinne Friesen, professionally known as Lovarra. Lovarra, thanks for being with us.
It's such a pleasure. I'm really happy to get a chance to get to know you a little bit, David.